What's up YouTube, it's Cyberfelon, and today I have a budget dinosaur deck profile for you guys using only 3 copies of the Dinosmasher Fury Structure deck. This is a very powerful and very fun deck to play, and if you have $30 to spend, I highly recommend you pick it up. But without further ado, let's get into this deck profile and show you guys what it's all about. Alright, so starting things off, we have 3 copies of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, your big boss monster of the deck at 3500 attack. He can only first be special summoned by banishing 2 dinosaur type monsters from your graveyard, and when he's on the field he has the amazing effect of destroying 1 monster you control or in your hand in order to flip all monsters your opponent controls into face down defense position. Then when he attacks, he can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. And when he attacks a defense position monster, you're able to send that monster to the graveyard and then inflict 1,000 points of damage to your opponent. So this is really good at stopping Cosmos and Yang Zings from floating and any other monster that gets a grave effect off of being destroyed. So it's a really good card and definitely a must at 3. Then next you have Miscellaneous Saurus. You play 3 of that as well. He is your hand trap of the deck. He offers protection for all dinosaur type monsters during the main phase that he is sent to the graveyard from your hand, as well as while he's in the graveyard you can banish him plus any number of dinosaur type monsters from your graveyard in order to special summon a dinosaur type monster with that same level of banished monsters. So he's really good. He's able to get out your level 4s or even get out your babies depending on how many cards you want to banish. Then the next very important card for the deck is 3 copies of Soul Eating Oviraptor. When he's normal or special summoned, you can search out any dinosaur type monster, add it to your hand, or send it to the graveyard. Most of the time you're going to use his effect to search out your babies or your Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, add them to your hand, or if you feel like it and you have a Miscellaneous Saurus engraved, you can send it to the graveyard and get his effect off. He also has a second effect that once per turn you can destroy 1 dinosaur type monster that's level 4 or lower on the field. So you can destroy your own cards, your babies, or your opponent's cards, or even a token that you may have on the field, which I'll get to that a little bit later. But when you do that, you're able to special summon any dinosaur type monster from your graveyard in defense position. This includes Ultimate Conductor Tyranno once he's been special summoned properly. Then the next card you're going to play at 3 is another very important card. 3 copies of Baby Ceratosaurus. This card's the main card you're going to combo off with Oviraptor. When this card is destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower dinosaur type monster from your deck. This is very important that it has to be destroyed by a card effect. It won't get its effect off by battle, so that's why you really want to combo this off with your Ultimate Conductor Tyranno or your Oviraptor. Being able to field more level 4 monsters, put more pressure on the board. Then the next baby you're going to play is 2 baby Petitrodons. You only play 2 because it special summons level 4 or higher monsters from your deck, but they can't attack that turn. So you only play 2 just because of the attack restriction. But it pretty much gets the effect off the same way Baby Ceratosaurus does through being destroyed by card effect. Next up you have 3 Yugioh X's. This guy's very powerful 4-star beat stick. It's a normal monster, so it plays really well off your field spell, and he's just here basically to field more damage. 2000's not a bad attack, definitely a good card, and an easy way to get him out to the field is with this guy, Rescue Rabbit. When this card is summoned, you can banish this card face up, and then special summon 2 level 4 or lower normal monsters with the same name from your deck. But they are destroyed during the end phase, and you can only use it once per turn, but it's at 1, so it doesn't really matter. There's a cool little combo with Rescue Rabbit that you can do with your field spell to keep your monsters out as well as field more monsters at the same time. I'll get to that in a little bit. The last 2 monsters you're going to play are your Tyranno Infinities. You do banish a lot with this deck, especially with Ultimate Conductor Tyranno and your Miscellaneous Saurus, so this guy can actually get pretty beefy really fast. It's so much fun to have an 8K monster on board and swing just once per game. So you definitely play 2 of them. You don't really summon them too often unless you have a pretty decent banish pile. Alright, now for our field spell, we have 3 copies of Lost World. Lost World is a very powerful field spell for this deck. Whenever you summon a dinosaur type monster to the field, you can special summon 1 token to your opponent's side of the field. This token is treated as considered a normal monster, and it is also a dinosaur type monster as well. So you can combo off with your Oviraptor to destroy your opponent's token that they're controlling, and be able to special summon a baby or whatever you want from your graveyard. Also, whenever a normal monster would be destroyed by battle or a card effect, hint hint Rescue Rabbit effect, for the Megalosmashers, you can destroy other cards equal to the number of normal monsters that are going to be destroyed in your deck. So basically you use this card to destroy your babies in your deck, which then allows you to special summon any monsters from your deck as well. So if you destroy, say, your 2 Megalosmashers, you can destroy 2 babies, field 2 more level 4 monsters. You have a lot of monsters on the field now, and you can easily push for some big damage. Also, any monster that's not a dinosaur type monster loses 500 attack and defense. And then, what's a field spell without 3 copies of Terraforming, because you want to see this field spell as fast as possible. I also forgot to mention that when you have a token face up on the field, your opponent can't target any of your cards, your monster cards, except for that token. And then the other key searcher other than Oviraptor in your deck is your 3 copies of Fossil Dig. This card pretty much can search out any monster other than your Ultimate Conductor Tyranno and add it to your hand. And speaking of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, who doesn't love to clear your opponent's board with his effect of just sending all defense position monsters to the graveyard? And to help out with that, you have 3 copies of Swords of Concealing Light. When this card resolves, you're able to flip all face-up monsters that were on the field while this card was activated face down. And this really does combo off well with Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. You can even bait out card effects that would destroy this and just basically, you know, stop your opponent from doing anything. One thing that this deck struggles with is back row, especially during the battle phase, so that's why you are playing 3 copies of Twin Twister. You don't mind some of your cards being in the graveyard, especially since you can use those cards as fuel for Miscellaneous Sources effect. So Twin Twister is really good, it helps you during the battle phase, and it's just a really good card clearing out your opponent's back row. And that's the last of the spells. Now we're going into the trap cards, which 3 Quaking Mirror Forces is a very powerful trap card, especially for this deck. Like I mentioned before, comboing this off with Ultimate Conductor Tyranno is very good because it does flip all your opponent's monsters into defense position, and the good thing is they can't switch their monsters back to attack position. Next up, you have Survival's End, 1 copy of Survival's End, because this card allows you to destroy as many normal monsters on the field as possible, your Megalosmashers or the token you give to your opponent, and then once you do that, you can special summon as many level 4 or lower monsters equal to the number of monsters that were destroyed by this effect. This is a really good effect. It allows you to again field more monsters on the field, as well as if your opponent is playing any normal monsters in their deck, it also allows you to disrupt their board and their plays. Mostly against Metal Folds is a good example. Of course, they are destroyed during the end phase, but if you do have your Jurassic World face up on the field, that doesn't really matter at that point, because then you're able to field even more monsters. And then it also has a very nifty grave effect where you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 dinosaur type monster you control and 1 card your opponent controls and destroy both of them. So that's also very good for disruption and disrupting your opponent's plays. Then the last and final card of the deck is Fossil Excavation. It's a themed Call of the Haunted. Honestly, it's not as good as Call of the Haunted because you do have to discard in order to activate its effect, but it is the only card that comes with the deck for Revival, and it is pretty good, being able to special summon your Ultimate Conductor Tyranno back from the graveyard should anything happen to him. But that's it for today, YouTube. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. Remember, this is a budget deck profile using only 3 copies of the Dinosmasher Fury structure deck. There is a lot of improvement that can be done on the deck. This is just a very good starting point for a dinosaur type deck. But that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember, as always, to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as hit that bell icon to stay updated. Until next time, later guys.